Okay, welcome to another episode of AI Heroes Live. We are in Cannes for Insights Lighthouse, part of the Cannes Lion Festival. And today I'm joined by Tony Costella. Tony, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Good to be here.
Fantastic. Well, I wanted to talk to you today a little bit about kind of your role at Heineken. So maybe start off with a quick introduction, kind of what your role is and what you're focused on right now.
Yeah, sure. So I'm the global head of the Insights team at Heineken globally, which obviously looks at insights across the whole organisation, but increasingly asking my focus, really focusing on AI and how we can leverage AI to change our work processes to become more efficient and effective. So a lot of time and energy spent on that at the moment.
Fantastic. And what's, I guess, where would you say you are on that journey so far, kind of both personally and from a corporate perspective?
Yeah, I think for all of us, we're all learning as we go, building the plane as we fly. And we're relatively early, which is good and bad. I think the data foundations that we have are not where we'd like them to be. So we've got a lot of work to do on that side of things.
Yep.
But it's also given us a bit of time to then actually build, well, what do we want the future state to look like? And we're actually doing a lot. We're investing in the design work. And yeah, of course, a lot of pilots and building things and so on, but knowing that the real solutions will come a little bit later. Really thinking through what are they going to look like and how we're going to change our ways of working.
Fantastic. You mentioned a lot of pilots. What's been your kind of overall approach? Obviously, the Insights ecosystem has lots of different tech providers. You've got companies also kind of building their own proprietary tools. So I guess how are you balancing that approach to kind of build, buy, partner, and thinking about how you kind of bring in people into the ecosystem?
Yeah, sure. And we're looking at all of the above. We're doing build, buy, and partner. And again, really thinking through, well, what are the things that make sense for us to fully own and build in-house? What are the things where, this is a core competency for us, and we should be buying from something that off the shelf is going to work perfectly well? And what are those things that are somewhere in between that we want to have strong partnerships that we can co-develop with partners? So yeah, we're working on all of those, depending a little bit on how central it is to our business.
That makes a lot of sense. So we were talking just before the show about kind of how brands in your category, the alcohol space, everyone has access to very, very similar data. Yeah. And you talked about kind of the importance of kind of company culture and how do you kind of enhance that. Maybe share a little bit more about what you believe around that company culture perspective and how it can add differentiation.
Yeah, sure. I think it's an interesting point because we're talking a lot about, it's going to be the quality of the data and the proprietary data that you own. And I think in most industries that I've worked in, the big competitors often have very similar, they may have slightly different partners or whatever, but they're more similar than different. And that's not going to ultimately be the differentiator. There may be some first mover advantages for some who've got their data in order, but that's not going to long term be the differentiator. For me, I think it comes to thinking about, well, it's how you build the AI tools, who you choose to partner with, and how you use that data. And which is why I think to just default to off-the-shelf tools can be dangerous. You need to work with those partners to think about which of those tools and how can we adopt those tools for our culture. And so we're doing a lot of work thinking about what is the Heineken way of, and can we have a Heineken way of developing great advertising, of developing innovation, etc. How can we build AI tools that can mirror that so that the DNA of the company is baked into those AI tools rather than the DNA of our partners or suppliers or existing models. So that's a little bit the approach, is thinking how can we engineer the Heineken DNA into our tools.
Yeah. And then when you look at kind of the human impact of kind of knowledge management, knowledge work, how are you seeing kind of shifts in your team and kind of being able to kind of bring people along on that journey? And what do you think the future of insights and analytics looks like, kind of maybe thinking 5 years out from where we are today?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's an incredibly, and you'll hear this a lot these 2 days, especially here at this Insights Lighthouse, but it really is a pivotal moment, and I genuinely believe this is the time for the insights industry to step up. And why is that? Because actually the skills that this industry has always had are exactly the skills that are going to be needed to win in this space. And again, not necessarily the first skill sets, obviously the analytics, IT departments, data engineering, all of those are essential, but eventually everyone will get on top of those and they'll be table stakes. What will be the differentiator is who can design the right processes, who can ask the right questions, who can prompt the AI in the right way. And those are the skills that Insights people have always had.
Yes.
And what we're coaching our people towards is how can they translate those skills that they've always had into this new AI world and think about how they can use those incredibly transferable skills to change our ways of work.
Yeah, I 100% agree. I mean, I think for me, it's what it enables is this this more time for true critical thinking, more time for going deeper, less time having to kind of do a lot of the work. I think Insights has been bogged down for too many years in doing collection rather than that strategic thought. So thinking about this event, the Insights Lighthouse event, what was your driver for coming to an event like this? Obviously, we've got 2 days of incredible sessions, but what are you hoping to kind of get out of this next 2 days?
Yeah, and it's always fantastic to get together with peers from across the industry, particularly the Insights world. Things are moving so rapidly, and understanding how others are thinking about integrating AI, which is throughout the agenda. You're seeing it everywhere. But particularly, I think there's been a lot of focus on that within the agenda of how people are thinking about merging AI and their existing ways of working,
of course,
and the human and AI together. And that's again rapidly moving. So we've already been here for a few hours, but already some great thoughts that are sparked for me to think about how to translate those for our business.
I think you're absolutely right. That combination of the AI and human insight piece. What is that right ratio? Where can AI do an incredible job? Where do we need humans to focus, and how do we free them up to look at that? Kind of thinking about this next year ahead. What are some of the big initiatives that you're kind of personally focused on, kind of as a business, and looking to solve for?
Yeah, and I don't think we'll be unique in this, but we're going full speed at developing a roadmap for our Insights engine, and thinking about how we're going to start filling in the pieces for that, and it starts getting real now. So I think we've been already, as I say, we've done a number of individual pilots here and there, beginning to learn. I think now comes the time to start putting that into a framework, and understanding how it can, instead of these just being one-off tools, they can be integrated into a full ecosystem that can change the ways of working, not just for a department here or there, but for the whole company. And that's what we're excited to do now, to bring us kicking and screaming into the 21st century.
Absolutely. And then finally, just to wrap up, obviously you talked about kind of piloting a lot of tools. Any advice for other Insights leaders out there on kind of a framework for approaching this? Is obviously, you go to any conference, you're kind of overwhelmed with options. How do you think about kind of a framework for testing these tools and what really matters?
Yeah, I think, and I'll be talking later this afternoon, and that's one of the topics I'll cover a little bit actually, because we've done a lot of thinking, and I think there are some, especially more off-the-shelf tools that are available, can be incredibly helpful at raising the floor. And if you're thinking for solutions for certain parts of the business, for us, for example, with consistency of brewing, it's really important that's always consistent. And so any tools that can make sure that there's no variability are always going to be effective. I think when you talk, especially here at CAM, we talk about creativity. It's not always about raising the floor. There are some things you can do. If you're thinking about raising the ceiling, then you've really got to think hard around the tools that you're bringing into the company to think about, are they going to bring you a sustainable advantage? Are they going to allow you to raise the ceiling to get real breakthrough? And I think there are a lot of AI tools that absolutely can do that if you're using them as part of a process that still brings the human in, that is not not fully automated, but that has some back and forth iteration, that the human is able to really shape the way that the tools are working. Then you can still get that breakthrough, raising the ceiling as well. But really important to understand what is the objective, what are you trying to do with the tool, to understand, am I looking for a very consistent, eradicate errors, or am I looking for the opportunity to get to breakthrough brilliance that can sometimes be missed by some tools?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think that's where, on that creativity side of things, obviously when you're dealing with kind of known truths or data where it's kind of, you've got a binary outcome, is it right or is it wrong? That's where a lot of the concerns have been historically about the hallucinations of models. But when you're looking for creativity, actually the fact that the model can make linkages that maybe as humans we're not able to see or not able to do is truly fascinating. So yeah, I think that combination really works. Well, Tony, really appreciate you being a guest on the show. Enjoy the next couple of days at Cannes, and hopefully, we'll have you back on the show in a year's time.
Great. Thanks very much.
All right.
Thanks,
man.
Cheers.
Bye.